Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay,
Good
awesome.
morning, sir.
Yeah, morning, thanks. Yeah, how do I start? It's my first time, so I need some orientation. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for joining us. I believe the moderator will be back in the room. So they will call on the first and second speaker at some point, and then most of the conversation will be question and answer towards the end. That's from the briefing I've gotten.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. Sorry, Saturday is always the boys' time. So you wanted to go out by all means.
He's not leaving his daddy alone.
He wants to just go out. He knows it's 12 already, so he's just eager to step out of the house.
Is coming into tech, obviously. So he wants to learn too.
Hopefully, maybe he's going to be a footballer, you know.
I mean, I'll just be on mute for a bit.
All right.
Please, I would like us to go forward. Oh, sorry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to this ICT career talk. Apologies, we are starting really late. The app was having issues with this. So that is the major issue. We have two speakers for today. Today we have Mr. Ade and we have Mr. Sam. You are both welcome.
Yeah, I don't know if it's from my hand, but I can hardly hear you.
Same here. We can hear you, but you seem far away from your mic.
So is it fine now?
Yes, it's better now.
All right.
Oh, God.
Tolu, we can hear you. Okay. Okay. I said good afternoon once again. I am Comfort, and you're welcome to this career talk session. We apologize for starting really late. We are supposed to start by 12, but due to network glitches, we have to shift it till now. So the alpha is having issues also with this network. So apologies for that. This morning, this afternoon, we'll be having two speakers for this session, and we have Mr. Fade and we have Mr. Sam, who will be having some session with us. So after the two sessions, we'll have question and answers segment where we can ask questions after the two speakers have given their talks. We can have time for questions and answers. So while the speakers are talking, you can keep your questions, jot them down somewhere, or you type them in the chat box. So at the end of the sessions, the speaker will have time to respond to our questions at that time. So thank you very much. So I will be calling on the first speaker. I'll be inviting Mr. Bade Adesomo to
I think I'm the second speaker.
All right, no issues. I don't know if I'm audible now.
Yes.
Yeah, am I audible enough, please?
Very well, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I think thank you so much. That is a privilege, right, to be here, and I don't take it for granted in any way. I don't know if I need to do an introduction of myself first, or I should just go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm Sam Adeni. I've been in the tech ecosystem, I think, for about 15 years now. Yeah, I used to be core to the development of Remita when in the past. I was at Inlax, build Inlax Money Day. That is their agency banking application, and microservice, asset microservice, sorry, please. And the microfinance bank award they got from CBN. Yeah, I was at Venture Garden. I don't know, I've been at a whole lot of places, but right now, for some couple of months, I've been working with a company in the UK. So right now I work with a company, an edutech in the UK. I also was at ULessing as head of engineering. So towards the end of, I think 2020, I started picking this interest in education sector. I don't know why. So I just have this passion for education. So I said, oh, that's the next phase of stuff I want to do after spending a whole lot of years in fintech. I also mentor at Career Foundry as a mentor. I mentor at Fan Partner also as a mentor. I think, I don't know. I think that's enough, yeah? Yeah, I'm a dad. I'm a full-time dad. I love that bit. I need to say. Right. So building a strong tech career. I don't know who our audience is. Our audience have. I want to know, do we have, probably just, you can just drop a message in the chat. Do you have 2 years experience, 3 years experience in the tech system? Yeah, or yeah. Sorry people, like you just need to forgive me today. Today is always their time, right? And he knows it, so he just wants to step out. I want us to drop our years of experience in the tech ecosystem so that it can kind of guide what the conversations will be like, because a strong tech career for a 5-year, a 6-year experienced person is going to be completely different for a 1-year or someone that is just joining the tech industry. So it would be nice if we can just drop it, your years of experience in the tech ecosystem. So I have 6 months, just one person. I think we're about 10 here or so. Yeah, 2 years, awesome. Anyone with 5 years upward, probably we just put that bracket. 5 years upward. Okay, I want to take silence for none. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen briefly. I don't know if we can host in my screen now.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so what I've captured is just my own thought, and I think some of the I won't call them skill, right? I'll probably call them habits that helped me over the past few years as a software engineer and someone that I can relatively say had grown so much in the industry. The first thing I used to tell everybody I kind of have privilege of talking to is pick a niche and grow into others. I realized that at some point a few years ago, we started talking about full stack, and we want a full stack engineer to be this dude that can do front end, can do back end, can work on AWS, can deploy on Azure, can deploy on Google CPU. And every time I come into this kind of conversation, I keep saying, like, it is going to be you being a jack of all trades, and it's going to take you more years. So if someone comes to me and say, oh, I have 2 years experience and I'm a full stack engineer, then I get extremely worried about it. So I say, if one wants to grow, I say pick a niche. When I say pick a niche, is we all have our wiring, honestly. Some of us are visually inclined. So when I see designs, I can relate with it. I can completely tweak my CSS to fit in the design, no matter how complex the UX UI guy made the design. Some of us are logically inclined, meaning our right side of the brain is better than the left side or so. And our logic is extremely strong. And I tell people, like, the first thing we need to do is listen to ourselves first. Like, am I visually inclined or logically inclined? And I remember something when I was at System Specs. I used to have engineers that have been in the industry for 10 years, right? They are way my seniors way back. And I realized they struggle even using CXS, but their Java is extremely strong, like one of the best in the industry. And they don't kind of feel bad about it because they can't do CSS or they can't do HTML, right? So I used to say we should pick a niche. If I realize I'm visually inclined, I pick a niche. I want to do front end, right? I want to master JavaScript first. Sorry, please. I want to master JavaScript first. Yeah, I want to master CSS. I want to master HTML, right? After a few years of experience doing core front-end engineering, then I want to say, oh, now that I can do front-end engineering, I've been hearing API, I've been hearing this. Can I pick API up? And you realize then it will be easier for you to switch and want to do other stuff. Yeah, for you to be able to do other stuff. So So I think the first thing I used to tell people is pick a niche and grow into others. Over the years, over 5, 6, 7 years, you realize you can do front end, you can do back end, you can do AWS, you have an idea of how to deploy on Azure and all of those things. So for me, that is always my first tip, to say, pick a niche and grow into others. Then the other one is speed versus consistency in learning. Right. I've seen people want to learn. For example, I'm extremely strong using Angular, right? I always advocate Angular over React. Don't let us start that battle, So I've seen people in that kind of niche, right, where you say, oh, I want to learn Angular, I want to learn React, I want to learn Vue, I want to learn jQuery, and I want to learn all of these things, right? Then you create this timetable for yourself, and you are gaining speed in learning all of them, right? But what happens in between is probably you do this every day for 1 month, then you stop. Then after 2 weeks or 3, you come back to learning a new skill again. And for me, that is where I want people to compare speed to consistency. So I don't need speed really, I need consistency. What can I do over a period of time for the rest of the year, right? I want to dedicate 2 months. I want to dedicate, 1 hour every day to learn JavaScript for 6 months. I want to dedicate 30 minutes every day to learn probably Node for the rest of the year. That is where I compare speed to consistency in learning. As we grow, and I think this relates to people that have more years of experience, I realized that because, now we are earning, our consistency in learning kind of dropped. So we just rush through this tutorial in 2 weeks, then we abandon, then after 3 weeks, we come back and learn something else. It should be an habit, right? We should consistently learn every day. Then the next one is, for me, this is a question I ask myself every day, and I call it 0 days. Yeah, I call it 0 days, and it has to do with the previous point, which is consistency. I call it 0 days in the sense that any day I didn't learn any new stuff, right? For me, it's a 0 day. So I ask myself, do you have a 0 day today? Meaning, did I follow my learning plan for today? Right? Did I learn any new thing? I know I wrote a lot of codes today. I did a lot of debugging and all of those things. But for the plans that I have on my learning journey for the month, did I do something new? And also, and I think another way is we need to have, I have learning plan for every month, right? And I want to check this every day that I don't have a 0 days, meaning I learned something new. Then the other bit is own your speed. Like the way we learn is completely different from each other, right? Some people are fast learner, they're extremely fast learner, right? Why some of us, we are not too fast, right? But we take things easy. But once we understand fully. Nobody can take that away from us. And why I always preach own your speed is, don't compare yourself with any other colleague in the office that is extremely just banging PRs and everybody, this dude is fast and all of those things. Own your speed. Be consistent in how you learn. Be consistent in your personal development. And the most important one is work on your soft skill. I've seen these with engineers that are extremely solid, but interpersonal relationship 0, communication 0, even empathy 0. So when the QA guy comes and say, this thing is not working, you say, go and check it again. I've done it. It should be working, and all of those things. And I think this is extremely important for everybody as engineers. Considering the fact that we are introverted in a way, we need to be able to put together our thoughts into speeches so that we can communicate our intent, right, to every other person in the team. Sorry, I don't know if I'm talking too fast, right?
No, sir, not.
No, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, okay. I just want to go through everything, then I'll go back from the beginning, then we can start asking our questions from there. Right. Then I always have these ask questions. to grow, ask a lot of questions, like a lot of questions. I remember when I joined the company I currently I'm currently working with, they built their own internet framework. So it's not like a framework that is out there, it's internet, they built it in-house and it's not fully documented. So because you understand how, for example, Node works, doesn't mean you understand how that framework works. It's actually built on JavaScript. So for me, I ask questions. I kind of just drag everybody to the core, like what is happening here? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And I think this is also a kind of good habit for everybody to have as an engineer, right? Before you start, so I also have this concept I teach everybody in my team, right? Don't Google until you ask someone in the team, Before you start Googling, before you start going to Stack Overflow, have you asked someone in your team? Because probably that guy did the Googling and the Stack Overflow for you yesterday night, right? So you doing it again is kind of just reworking everything the dude has done. So I say ask a lot of questions. For me, there's a whole lot of stuff, to build a strong career in tech. But I'm just going to stop here. And if we have any question now, I'll hand it over to the moderator. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for speaking. Yeah, please, we would have to play video now. Every question that you want to ask will come after the second speaker have spoken. Thank you. Yeah, please, Mr. Comfort, please, can you share your screen?
So please share the link.
Can you share the link again?
Brother.
I've sent it to you, Ms. Comfort. Okay, it's not working. Okay.
Yeah, I think the audio is not up.
The video, the audio.
I think you need to reshare the screen on Zoom and tick the little check mark that says share computer audio. You need to stop sharing. When you share again, tick the small button that says share computer audio.
You better mute yourself.
Simoya. I am the Professional Services Lead at Bincom Dev Center. Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location tech training and development center in Nigeria, and our major objective at Bincom Dev Center is to produce over 1,000 quality tech individuals every year. These people are highly employable, globally attractive, and highly sought after in the tech ecosystem. You ask why, right? Yes, tech talents are in high demand in international communities such as US, the UK, Canada, and France. These countries have made policies and pathways to enable immigrations for tech talents. And guess what? Average salaries of software developers are as high as £35,000 per annum, and this is at the entry level. The opportunity for tech talents are endless, both locally and internationally. This means that the tech ecosystem is one of the highest employers of labor in Nigeria. Yet, many tech companies say that they are not able to find the right tech talents that they need. This is why we started the Bincom Global Tech Program. The program focuses on 3 major pillars, which are learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. The program spans between 1 to 2 years, and during this period, trainees are taken through an in-depth curriculum in their chosen tech tracks and also in development of soft skills required for them to become globally attractive in the tech ecosystem, both locally and internationally. This program helps trainees to learn tech skills, gain relevant tech experience, and also exposure to the endless possibilities and opportunities available in the tech ecosystem all over the world. Listen to some of the testimonials of our past trainees.
Yes, I had high hopes and expectations while joining Bincom Academy, and trust me, believe you me, yes, it was met beyond my expectations. I saw things I have never seen. I did things I thought I would not be able to do in the space of 1 to 3 years. I achieved so much.
Actually, my expectation was met. Being at Dev Center, being my institution, I learned quite a lot of things. Learned web development, front-end development. I learned mobile development. Coming here, I was thinking I enrolled as a front end, a mobile development team, but later on, actually lead my hand on some project of front end teams, lead my hand on front end development like WordPress, like Joomla. Also work with some front end frameworks like Angular and the likes.
The program has various knowledge tracks that you can choose from. Some of the technical knowledge tracks include the data science track, which is starting with Python. We have the backend track starting with PHP, the front-end mobile app track starting with JavaScript, the DevOps infrastructure track. We have the UI UX graphics track, and also the software testing and quality assurance track. And apart from the technical and software programming knowledge tracks, we also have business knowledge tracks that are equally highly paid across the world. And some of them include the project, service, and product management track starting with Agile. We have the digital marketing, performance marketing track as well. That's interesting, right? Yes. This is a highly intensive program. You need to be able to commit at least 40 hours every week to the program. You can choose from our various shifts. We have the regular shift, which is the 40 hours weekly, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays and 1 to 2 Saturdays a month. We have the night shift, the 40 hours weekly, which is 5 p.m. till late on weekdays and 1 to 2 Saturdays every month. We also have the majorly weekend shift, which is 40 hours weekly, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and then 4 hours every other weekdays. We also have other flexible shifts based on your availability. Yes, all you need to start are a laptop device and a passion and hunger for IT. But wait, it gets better. We have various financing options to help you cover the cost of the program. Though the program is not free, you do not need to have money to be able to apply and be admitted to this program. The total cost of the Bincom Global Tech Program over the 1 to 2 years period is 1.2 million naira. And we have one of the financing options available is the income sharing agreement, which means that the company will sponsor you through the entire program and you only start paying when you start earning income. After the program, this means that aside the skills, the experience, and the exposure, the company is also willing to invest their money on you. It doesn't get better than that. What are you waiting for? Hurry up to bincom.net/globaltech and register to launch your global tech career. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. We are going to invite our second speaker, Mr. Bade Adesemo, to speak. Thank you, Mr. Bade.
Thank you, Tolu. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, sir.
Fantastic. I hope everyone can hear me loud and clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Thank you for having me on this platform. It's actually been a while since I spoke at Bincom ICT Career Talk. Hello, everyone. And I would also just be sharing some of my thoughts on the topic today. And then hopefully we would have a fantastic conversation around question and answer. Incidentally, I'm actually going to be using the framework that Bincom uses, which is the learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. I'll be speaking a little bit about each one of those pillars and some of the things that each person, each one of us can do, whether or not you're a beginner in the field of tech or you are highly experienced, 20 years experience, 25 years of experience. It doesn't matter because you have to keep growing. Technology is one of those fields. Maybe not the only one, but it's one of those fields where you are sentenced to learning for the rest of your life, right? So you can't say, oh, I was an expert 10 years ago, I'm still an expert today. It doesn't work like that in the field of technology because things change and things change very fast. The one I use as a joke sometimes is JavaScript. When I was coming up in the field of technology, JavaScript was bad, basically, right? You were supposed to avoid using JavaScript as much as possible. But now the world we are in today, JavaScript is forming the core of technology. And if it grows as fast as people are predicting, it may even knock off PHP in the future as what runs most of the web, right? And that is just an example of what happens when technology changes, as technology is growing. When I was growing in my career, right, if you wanted to be a web developer, you needed to first install Apache, then you needed to install PHP, then you needed to install MySQL, and then you needed to connect all of them to work together. To be honest, the first time I had to do it, it took me about a day or more for me to get it working. And the reason is because there were different bugs here and there and so on. But then gradually in the field, things changed. There are people produce something called WAMP. I'm aware that nobody uses WAMP anymore, or people don't use WAMP as much anymore. And then over time, now we're looking at cloud infrastructure, we're looking at Kubernetes, we're looking at Heroku, and we're looking at things that spin a lot of these things for us. One more example is when I was growing up in the field of technology, there was also the whole idea that, oh, you needed to be a developer for you to be able to build applications. Now we have something called no code. And with no code, it means that you can actually literally drag and drop and you can build basic applications. I mean, there's still arguments out there to say, can those applications scale to 1 million users? Bubble claim that, I mean, they run applications with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million users, and so on. But the point is that if you want to be a startup founder, you don't need a developer for you to be able to do that, right? Of course, developers are still going to be needed all over the world because it's a developer that builds. Bubble is a no-code platform for those that are not familiar, right? It's a developer that built that, but it can actually generate some apps today without knowing how to code. Whereas when I was growing up in the field of technology, right, we used to charge millions for people to develop websites for people, right? Now, there's no point doing that because there are platforms like webs.com, wix.com, and several others where you can just drag and drop and you get your website working. You needed to have Photoshop for you to be able to do graphics, or CorelDRAW, Dreamweaver, and several other things. So for some of us on the platform, just for you to know that, I mean, some of us have been in this field for a little while, and many things have changed. What I'll be talking about today, the framework that we use at Bincom actually works for anyone, whether you're a beginner, whether you are experienced. Also, whether or not when we're growing up, when you're talking tech, you're typically thinking about the technical side of tech. But very quickly, people discover that there's a requirement for the business side of tech as well. And that is important. So project management, digital marketing, sales, enterprise sales, and several other aspects of tech are now recognized and are also high income earners in the field of technology. Regardless of where you fall in this framework, beginner to experience, regardless of where you fall in this framework, whether you are on the business side of tech or in the on the technical side of tech, regardless of where you fall in this framework in terms of what it is that you're doing at the moment, right? I believe that there's something to take away from this presentation today. But let me quickly deal with, I believe you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
But
sir,
let
we can.
me deal with the people who are just thinking about getting into tech, because I recognize this is the ICT career talk, and it's possible that there are people in the room that are still wondering, is tech right for me? Should I continue in this field? Should I jump over to something else? And so on. So I decided to start with just a thought around why tech, right? I mean, many of us probably know in the room that technology is the new oil. When I was growing up, and I say that a lot, I mean, is people wanted to get into things like oil and gas, right? People wanted to get into Shell when they graduated from school, right? That was the dream job, because Shell was, I think, was maybe one of the highest paying sector. One of the highest paying, oil was one of the highest paying sector, and Shell was one of the highest paying in Nigeria back in those days. I'm not sure if that is still true, but I know for a fact that many technology companies pay much, much more, even for entry level, than what Shell was even paying back in those days. So yes, you can think about the money, you can think about the prestige, because people are always looking out for tech people, right? You can think about the fact that it's the in thing at the moment. And there are several reasons why tech is a field to get into. If I was to recommend any field to someone, I would say think about tech, right? There's also a huge gap. There's scarcity. Many people all over the world are still saying that they need skills, they need the right people, they need the right talent, and they are unable to fill those roles. The last time I checked, in the UK, there were over 300,000 tech roles that were vacant. Think about that. And that was just a snapshot or something like that. Now, the point is this, that there's a huge gap. However, there's also a different problem on the other end, which is the fact that even though there's a huge gap in terms of scarcity, there's also high unemployment in a country like Nigeria, where Bincom is founded, right? There's high unemployment, and people, so there are jobs, there are people looking for jobs, but then there's a gap in between. And that gap is part of what I'll be talking about now, around those pillars that that video also spoke about: learn skills, gain exposure, and gain experience in the field of tech. The only caveat I would just say for anyone thinking about pursuing a tech career and building a tech career is the fact that don't forget passion. Honestly, if you do not have a passion for IT, if you don't have a passion for tech, you will get frustrated. And that is a fact. Because as I said at the beginning, this is one of the fields where you are sentenced to learning for the rest of your life. If you are really not interested, because I have people in my network, I mean, they use tech as a stepping stone, but the truth is they weren't really interested in tech, right? I have people that I speak with, and it is clear that they don't really have a passion for this thing. And if you don't really have a passion for this thing, it means that those sleepless nights will be stress. When I was growing up, right, one of the things I did as a 16 or 17-year-old or thereabout was that Microsoft Visual Basic 6 came out, and there was a manual for Visual Basic 6. That's a digital manual now. And I went through the entire manual, practicing every function, all the functions and all of that. I was practicing everything. And I didn't realize until the morning when the housemaid came to say, okay, what do you want for breakfast? So pretty much what I'd done was I'd worked on that thing throughout the night, and I didn't realize it. Right? And many of us probably have those kinds of experiences. Many of us in the field of tech probably have those kind of things where you literally get carried away because this thing has captured your interest. Passion does not have to just be there. You can actually build the passion, and there are ways to do that as well. So, I mean, it's not a case where to say, it's not like falling in love, that it's either you have it or you don't. This is something that you can decide to say, oh, I want to become passionate about this thing. And there are ways in which you can build that passion. But if you lack that passion, then you will be sentenced to just being average. And then sentenced to just being average is not what you want in terms of building a strong tech career. And that brings me to my next slide about, are you just average? Because yes, we're speaking about tech, and I used that first slide to talk to beginners, but now I'm speaking to intermediate people and maybe some experts as well to say, are you just average in the field of tech? Because believe it or not, the industry is not looking for average players. Somebody spoke about, and I think it was our first speaker that was speaking about football, to say, son, I mean, football is an option, right? And allow me to use that example as well. The Premier League, and I'm not a football fan, so forgive me. Arsenal is the football club I can think of immediately, right? And Arsenal, for example, would it be average players in the world that will play in Arsenal? Impossible. In fact, Arsenal has an academy where they take people from very young age, and only maybe 1 out of about 100 kids make it to the senior team, meaning that 99 out of every 100 people, every 100 kid that had the dream of being a world player like Messi and Ronaldo and all of that, 99 out of them never make it. And there's someone that wrote a book recently around those other 99, right? Because the problem that happens, this is not about tech, but let me just say it since I've started the thought. The problem that happens is that all these 100 people, they were focused from their 10-year to about 18 years on becoming the world's best player, but only one of them makes it to the other end. The other 99 did not focus on maths, did not focus on English, and several other issues. And all of a sudden, they are no longer relevant. And some of them kill themselves. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about tech, but I'm using that as an example as well. Because in trying to build a strong tech career, you need to realize that what you are actually saying is that you want to be better than average. What you're saying is that if they line 10 programmers in a room, all of them having a similar background, all of you have learned all of you have learned PHP, all of you have learned Python, all of you have done projects, all of you have 4 years experience in the field of tech, and so on. What will stand you apart? What position would you be out of those 10 if they line you up according to whatever criteria? Would you be the first pick, or would you be the 10th pick? Would you be somewhere in the middle? What are those things that will stand you apart? Some of them we've mentioned in this session today: soft skills, for example, consistency, for example, and several other things like that. Because what you are saying is that you want to be the top of your game. One of the things we talk about in Bincom at the moment is the Emigrate service, which is around tech-enabled visas. And when we talk about tech-enabled visas, we are saying that, oh, be globally attractive. And then if you're globally attractive, you have options. You have options of visas from all over the world, because many parts of the world today, many countries of the world today have created visas for the top of the class. And they create criteria. Different countries create different criteria and criterion, right, for it. But the same thing that they are looking for is that if I line up 10 project managers, I want the top 2. If I line up 10 digital marketers, I want the top 3 to come to my own jurisdiction to bring their own innovation. Because I know that if I have those people in my jurisdiction, somehow my jurisdiction will probably top the world in maybe being the fintech capital of the world, which is what UK and particularly London is trying to become at the moment. In the US as well, Silicon Valley, and several other places of the world as well. The question is that how do you stand yourself apart to become those top 2? And that leads me to the framework, and this is the last slide I will be talking about, and I hope that there will be many questions around building a strong tech career. As I mentioned, this is the framework that Bincom uses, and this is the framework we use for our premium program, which is the Bincom Global Tech Program. But it doesn't matter whether you are doing this within Bincom, in a different organization, by yourself as a freelancer, right? It's the same thing at the end of the day. Of course, there's an advantage for one or the other. There's an advantage of being in a particular community. There's an advantage of having structure. There's an advantage of having ecosystem and so on. But in the baseline of it, is the same thing that needs to happen. So this is not marketing for Bincom really. This is us just sharing. And this is me sharing to say, these are some of the things for you to focus on if you are really, really trying to build a strong tech career. And the framework is learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. I'll start with the learn skills. Under learn skills, and under each one of them, really, I picked 2 points that I will sort of focus on. And I'm not sure how long I have because they didn't tell me, but I will keep speaking until I see a message saying my time is up, or at least somebody can drop a message to say how long I have. Right. So under learn skills, I would say the first thing to focus on is know everything about something. And I think our first speaker also focused on that as well. In fact, our first speaker also spoke about almost everything I'm going to speak about, but from a different perspective. Know everything about something. One of the mistakes many people make in the field of technology is that they try to be jack of all trades, master of none. They try to be graphics, UI, UX, and be an expert in all of them. Interestingly, I mean, there's a part of the world that recognizes UI, UX as one skill, but there are other parts of the world that they focus on them as different. UI is different from UX. Project manager is different from product manager. Right? And what you want to do is that you want to be a master at something. I coach for Bincom's Headhunter service, right? And one of the key things I try to explain, particularly for clients from Nigeria, is that when you look for a job in Nigeria, they are generally looking for a generalist. They are looking for somebody that can do back-end, front-end, database, infrastructure, project management, clients consulting. You have to be able to present to clients and all of that. And I mean, I'm happy I grew up in that environment because I had to build all those skills, right? As a founder, as a business owner, as a techie, as a lead technology person, right? But the thing is that in the other side of the world, what they are looking for is just one skill, but you have to show yourself as an expert in that skill. You need to show that you know everything about that skill. So if you say you're a product manager, don't come to us telling us about service management. Don't come to us telling us about project management. Those are 3 different things, right? Bincom combines all those 3 together for you to be an expert in the 3, but that's not what I'm talking about, right? Don't come to us saying that you are this. If I'm looking for a product manager, then be able to show me your product management skill. Show me the things that you've done. Show me the things that you've learned. Show me the things that you have, and so on, right? Very important. Know everything about something. Pick a skill and know that everything about this skill, I would know it. But then I would also say that know something about everything. Be that all-rounder techie that if they ask about, even though you are a developer, if they ask you about Scrum, you can say something about it. I didn't say be an expert. I didn't even say be experienced, but at least be able to say something about it, right? I'll tell a joke for the reason why I got my first Mac. This is like 20 years ago or something like that, right? And the reason why I decided to buy my first Mac was this. So, I mean, I'm a techie, right? And as I said, I grew up in Nigeria, and I grew up in Nigeria where if you're a techie, they expect you to know everything and all of that. And so I was in a client presentation, and the client was using a Mac, and the client wanted to do something simple. I can't remember, maybe like start menu or something. They were looking for something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But because I had never used a Mac, I didn't know that Macs did not have a start menu. Now, this was me as an expert developer and all of those kind of things. I didn't know, right? I was lucky that day because I figured it out, blah, blah, blah. And somehow, after like a minute or 2, I was a bit startled, but ultimately I was able to figure it out, right? I didn't know that you could use 3 fingers for a gesture. Now, Windows machines have that as well, but I didn't know. But I was supposed to be an expert in tech, know something about everything, right? It is expected of you, particularly if you grow up in this side of the world. So learn skills, pick a skill, learn it, and also, but at the same time, start learning other things around that skill. Ancillary skill, the people that you would work with. So if you're a developer, try and know some things about what UAT, user acceptance test, what they do. Testers, what do they do? What are they supposed to do? What is their function? Try and know something about what everybody else in that ecosystem does. Know something about everything and know everything about something. I'll move on quickly to gain experience because I see I have just a few more minutes. There are two parts to it as well. And as I mentioned, I sort of broke everything I'm saying into two parts for each one of the framework. Focus on the quality of your experience, but also focus on the quantity of your experience. I'll speak about quality first of all. For beginners, please don't be Captain Local Hosts. I do a lot of interviews. I speak with a lot of people in the field of tech, and a lot of people do plenty tutorials. They use Udemy, they use Coursera, and so on. But then when you ask them for real life solutions that real life users are using, they don't have anything. And it's a problem because all those theoretical things where somebody has created tutorial and then you follow the tutorial step by step by step by step by step. The truth is the real world isn't like that. It's like saying you want to learn swimming and you learn swimming by reading a book. And then you finish reading the book, you close it and say, oh, I want to go and swim. I now know how to swim. You don't, because immediately you jump into the water, you understand that theory and practical are two different things, right? So focus on the quality of experience. Pick a project. Now, some people do not have the opportunity to work in a real organization. You can freelance. You can build something for your uncles, fathers, brothers, friend. You can do it for free. You can volunteer somewhere. You can intern somewhere, unpaid internship. If you have opportunity to get a paid internship, even better, right? Because obviously you need to pay the bill somehow. If you have support for that, that's fine as well. The point is that focus on building quality of experience. And even if you're on the other side of this to say, oh, I'm no longer a beginner, I'm not looking for an internship and all of that, what I'm targeting at the moment is I want to be the CTO of a multi-million-dollar enterprise. I coach for our headhunter service, and experience begets experience. What do I mean? I mean that when they are looking for that CTO, they are looking for someone that is already a CTO. And so you want to ensure that you have that quality of experience in your profile. And there are many ways in which to do that, including starting your own startup, if that's what you need to do. But also focus on quantity of experience. And quantity of experience is that don't just do what your 9 to 5 says you should do. I see a lot of people that become stale. And the reason they became stale is very simple. It's because they've been doing the same thing for the last 5 years. They are the head of IT somewhere, of a bank, for example. I'm giving specific examples now. They're the head of IT of a bank, of a microfinance bank, and they've been doing the same thing for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and all of that. The world has moved on. Just less than 10 years ago, if you told any banker to say you will be hosting your data in the cloud, they will say you must be joking, right? The way to do this is that we will spend millions of dollars to build our own data center, and then things goes on from there. But you see, the world has changed. Now cloud providers are building data centers, and then all the banks are going to host in there. The world has changed. Quantity of experience also says that do other things aside from your day-to-day job. Help other people out, mentor other people, sit on boards if you have the opportunity for highly experienced people. Volunteer if you are not as experienced, but focus on the quantity of experience. My time is up, and so I'll just speak very briefly around gain exposure. And there are two parts to this as well. Gain exposure is you expose your profile to the world. What I tell people to do is Google yourself. Type your name in Google, what comes up? If you're lucky enough that your name is unique, meaning that if they type your name, you're the only one that bears that name in the world, You are lucky because it's easy for you to know the things that are yours versus the things that are other people. But I have friends, I have 5 different friends. Their name is Segun Ajayi, right? And so that's Ada for them to know, okay, which one is which. But the point is that what does the world see about you? What kind of public artifacts have you built? What kinds of things do you have in your profile? What kind of things are you showing that you have done? Because some people have done a lot of things in the background, but the truth is that nobody knows. And it gets bad because part of the way most people get their roles in the world today is by headhunting, meaning a technical recruiter will just approach you to say, oh, I see that you have done X and we are looking for someone that has done X. So are you interested? Right? In fact, if you're in tech and nobody has sent you a message to say, we are looking for the skill that you said you are doing in tech, are you interested? There's a problem. I'll say it again. If you're in tech today, you spend like 6 months or so in tech, and nobody has sent you a message to say, we are looking for somebody that can do X. Are you interested? There's a problem. You need to go and look at your profile again. Second part of gain exposure is what is going on in the world. So remember I said you're exposing your profile to the world, but then you also need to know what is going on in the world. You need to know what the trends are. You need to know what is changing. You need to know what Elon Musk is saying, because you know whatever Elon Musk says, like 25% of the world will follow. You need to know all those things. You need to know what has changed. What did Apple release in their last annual conference? What is coming? What frameworks will change? Who is losing support? Do you guys know Flash? I don't know how old the people in the room are, but Flash
No.
supposedly the most important piece of technology at a point in time in history.
Yeah.
Flash died because Apple made a simple decision. If you don't know that story, go and Google it. A minor decision took down a multi. I used to use Flash when it was Macromedia Flash before it became Adobe Flash, right? That's history. But you can go and Google that. And you need to understand what is going on, what trends are there, right? What trends are going on. Ensure you have that exposure. And so the framework, again, is basically learn skills, build those skills. In Bincom, we do things like 20 hours. We force people to do different things for them to just build the skills using different things, Bincom Academy and several other things like that. You need to gain experience because it's important. And then, of course, you need to gain exposure as well. I'll leave it at this, and I hope that this was helpful to someone. And hopefully, if there are questions, we'll be able to drill down into any parts that anyone would like to ask about. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for that nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of us have gained from what our two speakers have told us today. So if you have questions now, we can ask our question now. So if there are questions, please, you can start bringing in your questions. Okay, but I have a question. Yeah, my own question is, any of the two speakers, like, do we need like a certification? Like after you gain a skill now, do you like need to be certified in that skill? Or does certification gives you a higher edge than other people? Like if all of you have the same skills, do you ever like, if you have a certification in it, will it give you this higher edge than the other person? So anybody? That's my question.
Yes, Sam, go ahead.
I should go. No, I'm not. You don't need certificate. Honestly, I don't have any certification, right? And if I mention where I've worked or stuff I've done, you just be amazed. So I think first is, like he said, right? Like first is I want to really appreciate Bincom for this framework, right? Like is depth, and I wish people can just take advantage of it. I'm sorry for my background noise. See, gain the skill and gain the experience. If you have the skill, every other thing is just going to follow by default. So beyond certification, right, is gaining the skill and gaining the experience.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Blessing, I see you have a question. You can ask your question.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. So when Mr. Badi was talking, I had to quickly Google my name to see what would come out. And surprisingly, something came out. My LinkedIn was the first there. So my question is this, I hear this a lot, like build projects or have a project, do something, put it out there. But when you hear projects in the tech world, it's usually one tech guy building this and one tech guy building that. But I'm a digital marketer. You know, we sell stuff. So what kind of project would somebody, because it's impressive that my name would come out from my LinkedIn profile, come out first. I want to put something there so that they will know that she has done something. But what kind of project would a marketer do, a digital marketer? What is in store for people like us?
I'll take that. So I think marketing campaigns is where you want to start from, right? What marketing campaigns has your name on it? What things went viral and you were the one behind it? What things, what organizations launched and then you were the one that was the digital marketing person, the growth hacker, the penetration, what's that called? Penetration marketing, and several other things along that line. Which ones were the ones that you worked on? Right, those are projects in the way of speaking as well. So and there are several options of things that you can do. Visibility, there are marketing techniques that you are the one talking about. Growth hacking, there's the name. If you Google growth hacking, for example, there's someone that in the world today they say is like the founder of growth hacking. It's not like people were not doing growth hacking before, but it's the one that coined the name and it's the one that did a couple of things that is now known by today in the world. Right? And that's what you want to start thinking about. So think of marketing campaigns, particularly those that are successful, and that would become your project. Then, of course, you want to talk about it. So you want to maintain a blog, or LinkedIn now has, what's the name, or Medium and so on, where you write story to say, oh, this is how we were able to get from 0 to 100 for something because of this technique, this technique, this technique. Be careful not to expose people's intellectual property. Be careful not to expose the intellectual property of the organization you're working with, but you can talk about the things that you did. And what you're doing is you're building yourself as a subject matter expert in those things. I hope that helps. And Sam, I don't know if you want to add more to that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I should. So my wife is a digital marketer, right? She does digital marketing and copywriting. And she got a job just because somebody saw her Instagram and saw the numbers of followers that she has on Instagram. So I want to say, even you are your own project, right? On your social media handles, or how many followers do you have? How many engagements do you have on all of this? Yeah, just to add to what they had said.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I have a question.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Okay. So I think earlier on you were talking about passion, and also you mentioned the business aspects of getting exposed or having access to this skill set. So my question then is for individuals who, let's say, imagine tech enthusiasts who not just only are enthusiasts, but they've worked on projects and worked on stuff. But somehow they have not been able to, build up anything profitable for the things they've built so far. In what way do you think they can actually convert their passion, right, into profit for what it is? Now, not just only tech per se. Let's use also in the field of digital marketing, to which I belong, and other aspects. So, what are the possible process that the person can take to convert their passion for what it is into profit, maybe a product or service? Yes, sir.
Sam, do you want to take that, should I?
I think you can go for it.
All right, cool. So what I would say is that, so digital marketing is one of those fields where you can literally freelance, right? And what you want to do is that you want to be able to show yourself as the person that can take, so a lot of products are coming up, and every single product that are coming up needs users. They need a way to be able to get users to use their product. They need to have the marketing funnel sorted. And so there's a lot that happens in that field in terms of how can I get my product out there to the right people. So that's something I believe that you can start from, right? In terms of skill. Fiverr, for example, is a very, very funny place, right? Very, very funny in many ways. And there are several other platforms similar to that as well. Those are things you can look at. And then organizations are always looking for digital marketers. Digital marketing itself is a field that has several different branches. So social media is one part, influencer marketing is one part, being able to do performance marketing, which is around digital adverts, is one part, being able to do retargeting is one part, and so on. And so even within digital marketing, you may want to start moving towards some areas of expert, a niche, and then become the person, the go-to person in that niche. I don't know if that helps.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can I ask another one?
Tolu is the moderator. So.
Is that the time? Or Mr. Tolu, can I ask? Or is it off?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right. So now the second question is this: let's say in a scenario where maybe you're in an environment of high competitiveness. That means you have everybody all teched up, one way or the other, striving to stand out in their own way, right? How can a person who is maybe a margin, right? How can such person break through the barriers, the possible barriers? How can a person break through the competitive barriers around such individual, around their location? All right, because you mentioned that competitiveness is definitely taking over. You need to be abreast of the fact. But when you're in an environment where everybody's all competitive, everybody's all teched up, like imagine someone trying to shine in Silicon Valley, for instance. How do you think that can actually happen? And what are the possible steps a person can take to ensure that happens for them?
So I think I like this. Yeah, let me go for it. Then you can build on it, buddy. Because I've once been there, right? So when I joined Remita way back, right? I think Remita was my first professional experience. Yeah, I used to be jack of all trade, PHP, Android, and all of those things. So once I got to Remita, I will have to specialize, right, back end or front end. And I'm working with engineers that has been in the company for 8-12 years, right? What has always worked for me, honestly, is owning my speed. Like I just tell myself, this is what I want to do. Measure yourself with yourself, right? And there is this thing that is time and chances. See, time and chances happen to everybody, right? Someone resign, someone get promoted, yeah, someone just choose, someone get fired, right? If you've prepared for the next position, right, you get there. But never, ever, ever compare yourself with anyone else or try to drag someone down because he wants to get up. Like, just own your speed and make sure that you learn every day. Like, I learned to an extent that at System Specs today, there is a page they call Sam's page. I've left the company for like 7 years, but the page is still there. They call it Sam's page, and it's the most popular page on Remita, right? So I'm saying just own your speed. Make sure you measure yourself by yourself. Did I improve from yesterday? Did I improve from last week? Anytime you ask yourself that question, like, so I said this in earlier on, 0 days. Anytime I ask myself 3 days in a row that, dude, what did you learn today? What did you learn yesterday? And it's all nothing. I know I'm sorry, I'm messed, right? And I need to just go back and reschedule my calendar and make sure I learn something. You just make sure you are learning. And another thing is, see, experience are not taught. Experience are not bought. You go through it. If you're working with someone that has 10 years of experience, don't compete with the person. Just learn. Just learn, because you can't buy experience. You can only go through it, right? So I'm saying just measure yourself with yourself and don't compete with anybody. Compete with yourself. Make sure you are growing, right?
Yeah, let me just add to that, because I actually took note of time and chance, and I was just laughing when you did say time and chance as well, Sam. I would say just shine your own and others will shine their own as well. A lot of times when they tell us 7 billion people in the world, we don't realize how many that shared number of people are, right? Because 1 billion, 1 million to, so when we think in numbers, we are thinking 1,000, 100,000, 1 million, and then 1 billion. But we don't understand how far 1 million is from 1 billion. Just visualize it. Now that I've mentioned it, right? Just visualize how far 1 million is to 1 billion. And what I'm saying is this, that the sky is so big that everybody, as at today, can still shine. And that's where that will start from. There are a few other things that you may want to do. Mentoring, right, is that find mentors that can also show you the way, because sometimes the mentors are sitting at a pedestal and they can look down at your level and see to say, oh, this is a niche that you may want to explore because this niche is growing at the moment, right? One niche that I see that is growing at the moment for digital marketing, well, it's a different field because people are trying to create it as a different field, is community management, right? To say people, organizations are building communities around themselves, right? And communities have a mind of their own. Communities can pull you down, and there's a whole need to be able to manage that. That's a niche that is just coming up, right? I don't think it's something that has been happening for the last 3 years, but I'm sure that if you go back 5, 6, 7 years, community management was not an industry. It is now. That may be something you want to look at. And I'm sure there are several others like that that is coming up in every part of whatever it is that we do. So time and chance, be ready, be prepared, so that the day that thing happens, you are prepared. I'll tell you the story of someone that I know got a role, right? Was part of the Bincom program, and the person just went for an external event. So one of the things Bincom makes people do is that you need to go to at least one external event a month. And the person was at the external event standing, there were no seats, so they were standing, she was standing with somebody else at that event, and they just got talking, and the person was talking about the task that the person was doing at that moment, and that's how she got over the job. Time and chance. Several of those things will happen. Those kinds of opportunity, we can't control when those opportunities come, but you had better be prepared when they do come.
Think so.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Amen. You can ask a question. I think this is the last question we are taking.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ame. Okay, my question is directed to Mr. Sam Adeni. I remember when someone asked I think Tolu asked a question about getting certification, and you said something that we should focus on our skills and experience. Well, I have some mentors that are mentoring me with my career path. I'm a project manager, and I'm currently preparing to take my PSM1 exam. And it was a mentor of mine that told me to take the exam. And another mentor also told me to focus on getting certifications like ITU, PSM, PMI, ACP, and all like that. But I said we shouldn't focus on getting certifications. So I'm actually confused, and I want to know why.
Okay. I'll just say this. I'll let Bade build on it. Like, so I'm not saying certification isn't important, but I'm saying, like, I'm repeating the word again. Don't focus on it, right? Get the skill. So I'll share an experience, right? I recruited 2 guys to join my team, right? And one has AWS certification, but honestly, his AWS is shitty, right? And I let him go after 2 months, right? Because I was building on the fact that, oh, this dude has AWS, so if he's joining the team, I should be able to hand over the DevOps side of things to him, right? And I realized I have to be the one doing the DevOps every time. So I'm saying, I'm not saying I have certification, right? I have Prince 2, I have ITU, I have COVID 5, but I'm saying don't focus on certification. Make sure you grant the skill. When you now have the certification, right? The certification can only open door, right? The certification can only open door, but make sure your core focus is as you read all of these papers to pass the exam, not just try to, because that's all we did for our BSc, right? I have a BSc in statistics. Like, I was solid in school, but today, if you ask me one thing, I can't remember anything because we all read to pass exam. So when you write the certifications, right, don't read because you want to pass the exam. Yeah, and I'm saying this for most engineering certifications, right? Because there are exam dump everywhere and people just go through these things and just pass the exam, right? The focus should be grant the skill, get the certification, let it open door for you. But I'm saying for newbies, the first thing is even getting the skill. Yeah, make sure you are very solid so that once the certifications opens the door, the skills will keep you there, right? You won't get messed when somebody say, oh, so you have PMP and they're asking basic strategy, product strategy. Oh, can you give me 6-month product strategy? And you start saying stories up and down, right? So that is my point on, and I'm repeating it again, like focus on the skill, like focus on the skill. Don't write exam because you want to pass and have certification. Make sure you can back every certification you have with adequate experience and skill, right?
Exactly the point. And in not trying to confuse you, I would say at your stage, don't even focus on the certification at all, right? Because the truth is, at the beginner level, at the intermediate level, people don't generally care about certifications. Generally, I mean, so of course, there may be a few exceptions here and there. They don't. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, those things were important. Now is not, because at the beginner and intermediate level, they will give you tests. They will give you scenario questions. They want to know if you have the right experience. They are not looking for theoretical experience. If I'm looking for a project manager, I'm not looking for someone that has theoretical experience, that knows all the keywords in Agile or PMP or Prince2 or whatever it is. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that has gone through the trenches and can show what they have done. That's what I'm looking for. And many organizations are the same. Let me shock you. Some companies from all over the world have even removed BSc from their requirements. I know Google did it a couple of years back, and I know a few other companies are doing it or are planning to do it soon. So you may not even need to go to the university again, even though I always advise, please go to university first, because you will have learned many things that you don't need to learn, but now you have shown capacity to learn, right? Even if it was cram and dumb that you did in university. My point is this: don't focus on certification. The places where certification then becomes important is at expert level. So, for example, for you to become CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, for example, there are some certifications that you are expected to have. They don't require it, but you are sort of expected to have it. And technically speaking, because you've done those things over the years, you can actually pass that certification easily, right? Even PMP, back in the days, I don't know if it's still the same now, they used to require you to have a number of hours of project management before you do your PMP, right? I know people used to fake it. I know people who just write anything. I know people who say people used to fake it and all of that. But the requirement was that really by the time you are being PMP certified, you actually have the experience, which is what we're saying, that focus on the experience first. Of course, if you get free certification, you're not paying much for it. It's just going to be a couple of hours of reading. It's just one more star on your certificate, on your CV and on your LinkedIn. And that's fine. It's an icing on the cake, but that is not the cake. It's just the icing. You can remove the icing.
Okay. All right, sir. Sorry, please. Yeah, let me build on what Badi had said. So I got a job in UK from Nigeria, yeah, and I've been working with the company for some time. Nobody ever asked, Sam, which school did you go to? Like nobody till now.
Which school did you go?
So I'm saying, let your skills, please, people, let us focus on our skill. Let our skill speak for us, right?
How about that? Are we still on?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So thank you all for the questions, and I hope you guys have learned a lot. And we thank you to the speakers of today for coming to join us and impacting us again today. So please stay a while for the next few videos. We are about to show you some of the services we offer at Bincom Dev Center. Where is it? Okay. Share sound. and share. All right, so I'm going to start sharing my slide. So we can see my screen. Yeah. So Bincom Dev Center is a multi-location technology, talent development, and solution platform. At Bincom Dev Center, our locations are virtually near you: Yaba, Lagos State; Ibadan, Oyo State; Kano, Kano State; Kaduna, Kaduna State; Ijebu-Igbo, Ogun State; Warri, Delta State, and we are planning to expand to many more locations. Bincom Academy, some of our services, Bincom Academy utilizes the Montessori approach in training participants in basic skills needed for the modern technology ecosystem. Bincom Tech Internship, designed to enable people at intermediate skill levels gain mastery and expertise over the period of time. Bincom Tech Apprenticeship, industrial attachment at various skills level to gain experience and on-job training. And Bincom community events and projects, geared at giving back to the community event and building the tech ecosystem. They focus on informing and exposing the youth to the current technology trend and how to prepare for the future of technology, and which is one thing that we are doing today, Bincom community events. And we have light spaces also, provides helpful workspace intended to encourage collaboration and drive innovation in the startup ecosystem. We have spaces that is created and designed for various events like seminars, conference, and get together. And we have Global Tech Program. The Bincom Global Tech Program is Bincom Dev Center Global Tech Program is your solution to launch your tech career globally. It's a 1 to 2 years program focused on three key pillars: learn skill, gain experience, gain exposure. Program fee 1.2 million naira, income sharing agreements plus other payment options available. I think the videos that we watched during the time the speakers are speaking talked more about this. So if you are interested, you can contact us to know more about it. And our e-migrates helps you to become globally attractive tech profile or tech-enabled business, and is your tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlements in countries like UK, USA, Canada, and France. And we have our Bincom mentoring platform. It's a structured mentoring solution to help mentors add value to mentees for the purpose of building globally attractive techies. And our Labs by Bincom is a 3 to 6 months pre-incubation program that brings together participants to build a digital technology product that would be used by real life users. So let's do down to some of our services. Our Bincom Academy. Then our life space. Sorry, I can't go back. Wow. Bincom community events. Our Bincom community is divided into 5 classes. We have the master class, meetup, idea sharing, explore on the move, and challenge and brainstorming, which is our architecting. And some of our other initiatives include Bincom Tech Network. Bincom Academy uses the Bincom Tech Network Slack for collaboration purposes. Interaction with the facilitator and other participant of Bincom Academy class will happen on the channel in the Bincom Tech Network. Bincom Tech Network is a developer and a tech resource community powered by Bincom. We believe this will grow into one of Africa's largest community of tech entities and experts. We have the 5 processes. Our community event are divided into our meetup, masterclass, and idea sharing. For our meetup, which happens on Fridays, so we have the PHP meetup, the cloud hosting meetup, the Angular meetup, the digital marketing meetup, data science meetup, the Laravel/E meetup, and the DevOps meetup. And our master classes are of 3 types: the Bincom Startup School, the Social Lender Digital Financing Master Class, the Technology Enhanced Learning EdTech series, and our idea sharing series, Bincom ICT Career Talk, and our Emigrate Open Day. Then our Bincom Global Tech Program. The program is a program to launch your tech career globally. So you learn skills, you gain experience, and you gain exposure. And you can also learn tech now and pay later. So to know more about this, you can contact us to get started. Okay, there should be a video here that should load. Yeah. So please, let's watch this 1-minute video talking more on the plain tech now pay later.
What are the things you need for this program? All you need is your laptop device, a hunger and a passion for IT. Those are the core tools that you need. The total cost of the Bincom Global Tech Program for the period of 1 to 2 years is just 1.2 million naira. But you don't need to worry about that because it gets better. We have various financing options to help you cover the cost of the program. So you don't need to have any money to even apply or be admitted to the program. One of the financing options that are available for this program is the income sharing agreement. What that simply means is that the company will sponsor your learning. So you would learn for the period of 1 to 2 years and you only start paying back when you get a job and you start earning your income after this program. This means that aside from skills, experience and exposure, the company is also willing to invest its own money on you. That's a total package. What are you waiting for? You need to go on our website, bincom.net/globaltech. You need to register and then launch your global tech career. I'm sure that the tech world, the tech industry is waiting for a great talent like you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Emigrates. Sorry for pronouncing this wrongly. I'm sorry. Service. Emigrate Tech enabled pathway, Emigrate service. We have the free and we have the premium. And if you are interested, you can indicate interest at bincom.net/emigrate, written as EMIGR8. And the second step, you request for an Emigrate service at blog.bincom.net/emigrate pricing. And we have our open days. And the next one is what is this? Open Wednesday of the month, second Wednesday of the month, and video recording of the past also available on our YouTube page. You can open there to find more of them. And you can join our Labs by Bincom and build your own startup from the scratch. And you can to know more about this, visit www.bincom.net/lab to start. And also, we have a program called NYU Learn Tech. You can earn up to 120,000 while you learn tech. This is done by referring people to the Bincom Global Tech Program. And you get 10% of whatever the person pay. Whatever the person pays. So if the person pays the complete program fee of 1.2 million, you get 120,000. So you can take advantage of this. And for every person, as an ambassador, for every person you invite, you get 100 naira per head. So it's something you can do. So if you are interested, you can visit us at mycycle_Bincom Dev Center /referrals. So to contact us, you can contact or send the mail to us at bincomdevcenter@bincom.net, and you can call us on the phone number 0701-195-4852. And you can visit our website at www.bincomdevcenter.com. Thank you for attending, and till next time to next Saturday that we have another meeting again. I hope to see you guys again. Thank you.
Can I give a quick final word?
Yes, sir. You can.
Yeah, so I think just for me, what I would just say to everyone is that, yes, there's a lot that we've said. There's a lot that you need to do. It may seem daunting in the fact that, oh, how do I do all of these things? But take one step at a time, and you will find that you've climbed the mountain. Become better and better. And this is how we say it in Bincom, become better and better and better. Eventually, if you look back, you'll find out you've become better than the best. Don't say that because this mountain is too high, I won't start. Don't say because I've been on this mountain for too long, I won't take the next step. Also, be strategic though, because there's a difference between working hard and working smart. Be strategic in the things that you do. Be strategic in the places you go. Be strategic in the people you follow on social media. As simple as that, because some of the things we talked about, we said stay up to date. Many of us are addicted to social media. I am too, actually, nowadays, and I'm trying to wean myself off that, right? Many of us are addicted to social media, but unfortunately, what we are seeing on social media is the wrong things. Why don't you clear everybody you are following and follow only the people that, are in tech, for example? All of a sudden, you find out that all the things that you start seeing, the algorithm that is very bad for other people will start feeding you with information that you are supposed to be getting in the first place. My point is this: take action, regardless of where you are. Even for me, I experienced in the field, there are things I need to do. I need to also keep learning every day, or else I get stale, right? Take action, take action, take action. Start seeing the algorithm that is very bad for other people will start feeding you information that you are supposed to.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for the word of encouragement. So thank you all for joining. Till next
Thank you,
event. I
sir.
hope to see you there. Thank you all.
All right, bye everyone.
Yeah, thanks, sir. All right, sir. Bye. Was this awesome? That was better than I expected. So stop live streaming. Stop video stream on YouTube. Copy stream. No. Live streaming off. There's no fear of live streaming. Look at the drum market.
So you realize we can hear all your commentary, right?
Oh, sorry.